It's May 1st, and that means it's day one of Escape the Readathon. Escape the Readathon is a massive team-based competitive readathon where me and many others are stuck on Orange Cat Cruise. We are trying to escape by unlocking rooms on the cruise ship, playing games, and getting through this ship so that we can be the first team to escape. This is a readathon that is hosted by Lexi over at Books with Lexi, and she reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to co-host this year? And I was like, yes. So here I am co-hosting Team Podcasters with Mel over at Eleanor Reads. And there's not even a question about it. We are going to be leading our team to victory. We legit have the coolest, chillest team, and I could not be more thrilled to work with the group of people that I am working with. So holla if you're from the Pod Squad. I'd love to see you down in the comments. And I am kicking things off with a book that I am so excited about, and that is A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. If you've been around, then you know A River Enchanted, the first book in this duology, was one of my favorites last year. No, it wasn't just one of my favorites. It literally was my #1 favorite book of last year. It has everything. Absolutely everything that I want in a fantasy book. Some might call this fantasy, some might call this romantasy, and I say it's the best of both worlds. In the first book, we are following kind of 4 main characters, but they are split up into different couples. So we have Jack and Adara. Jack is a bard who has been off studying at the mainland, but he returns to his home island when he learns that young girls are going missing, and he might be the key to finding them because through his music, he is able to commune with the spirit world. He also reignites a flame he had in his earlier days with Adara, who is the queen in waiting, essentially. That's not the proper terminology, but we get their romance. We get a lot of what I consider romantasy tropes that play out in the series, but they're not even my favorite part because there is another couple in this book that has my heart, and that is Torin, who is a warrior, and his second wife. His first wife unfortunately passed away, leaving his daughter behind, and he remarries a healer named Sidra, and their romance and their plot line just absolutely captivated me. So if it wasn't the characters, I also have to just brag on the writing of this book. It is so immersive, it is so beautiful, and then we also have magic that is just completely enchanting. There are some darker undertones to this book, but overall I would just describe it as whimsical and beautiful and lush and so romantic. I read A Feather So Black earlier this year, and I really thought that it was going to give me the same types of vibes as this book, and it just doesn't hold a candle. So I have been looking forward to this. My sister-in-law got me this for Christmas, as well as a lot of other books I was highly anticipating, and I thought that Orange Cat Cruise was the perfect time to break into one of my most anticipated reads of the year. As of right now, I'm sitting on kickoff sprints. I've been hanging out with some of the other co-hosts on camera, and I have just made it to chapter 8, which is page 94. So we're just about at the 100-page mark, and there is nothing I'm not loving about this book. We are instantly dropped into the different perspectives that we met in the first book, and oh, the way the first book ended, I was like, how are we going to pick up and how are we going to write ourselves for this one? Because lots of events kind of left our characters scattered everywhere. I don't want to spoil anything, but I will say that the inciting incident of this book is not something I expected. In fact, I think there were a lot of people that were like, why do we even need a book 2? And meanwhile, I'm over here being like, please give us a book 2, because I can't leave off where the last book ended. It was too tragic. So really, really having a good time. I'm hoping I can get another 100 pages in on sprints tonight, and had one of the earliest dinners I think I've ever had in my life, because I just wanted to sit here and get cozy on sprints. But I do have a massive Diet Coke with a good ice that I'm working on. I might even make a coffee, which is kind of crazy because I do still have to work tomorrow. It is the last day of state testing where I work. It is my test, so I'm a little bit anxious about it, so I might as well just not sleep, but coffee does sound really, really good. So I will update you probably at the 50% mark, but I'm excited to be making progress for my team right now. Although I have to say, some of y'all, are y'all okay? Because there's people on like their 3rd and 4th book, and I'm like, we're at May 1st. Are you okay? But keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. All right, let's continue reading and I will update you when there is something else to say. I did not update the vlog yesterday. It was Friday. It was the final day of state testing at work, which just absolutely wore me out. And on top of that, me and some of my friends decided that we were going to go get margaritas after school yesterday. And I can't tell you how needed and necessary that was after pacing around a room in silence for 3 hours, feeling like I was going to lose my mind. But we survived state testing, but are we surviving the Orange Cat Cruise? I don't know. I think podcasters are kind of killing it right now. Your official word from a host right now is that the podcasters have unlocked a room and we are currently trapped in a game. Now, my team is doing better than me because I haven't finished a book yet. We're on day 3 of the readathon. I'm almost done with this book. I have 2 hours left in the audio. And so I didn't get to count it for the room, but I am going to get to count it for a game. And fortunately for us, our game prompts are pretty easy this time. Like, I feel like no matter what we read, we're going to be able to count it for one game or the other. But, this book is so good. So our characters are in all sorts of different places right now, but I loved the first book. I loved the romantic relationships, the friendships, and the family relationships in that book. And this one continues to be the same type of situation. My favorite characters are Torin and Sidra. And at the beginning of this book, I just found their relationship so relatable. They're already married, they have a child, and Torin is stepping into a new responsibility in this book. And they had a misunderstanding somewhere near the middle of the story that I just thought was so relatable and so worth pointing out. Typical romantasy, you know, we have miscommunication, we have big events like war and battle and allegiances coming between our 2 main characters. But this time, the conflict between Torin and Sidra was just so much more real and so much more relatable, despite this being a fantasy. We're dealing with a married couple. One of them is coming home late from work and is like, but where's my dinner? And Sidra is dealing with a ton of different things. Like, she's trying to keep up the house. She's trying to watch her kid. She's not feeling very well and she loses it on him. And I feel like that is totally relatable. Like, sometimes when you don't feel well, you don't necessarily keep your comments in check and you don't necessarily think about the tone that you're speaking to your partner or your friend in. And it blew up into a much bigger deal than it needed to be, but both of their emotions were heightened. Both of them were not necessarily feeling very well. And I feel like their miscommunication stemmed from something that is so normal and relatable to anybody, not just people living in this fantasy world. I'm also loving that we are understanding more of the spirit world in this book, and something that is a prominent feature in the first book is that we have this island that is split up into 2 sides, the Tamerlanes and the Breckons, and they are enemies. They don't cross over the line. Certain things that are true on one side of the island are not true on the other side of the island. Certain magic that is allowed on one side of the island is not allowed on the other side of the island. And in this one, we have reasons for characters to cross enemy lines, and kind of seeing how the different sides of the island work is really interesting that we didn't necessarily get to see in the first book. I'm really curious to see how this one ends, because the main problem that is plaguing our characters here, I don't know how they're going to solve, and I just want to see how it's all wrapped up. And I just want to stay immersed in Rebecca Ross's writing forever. It's about noon and I'm not necessarily hungry for lunch yet, but I am about to make myself another cup of coffee and then get back to audiobooking. I am sitting on sprints with Alexis in my little reading corner right now, but I wanted to give you an update before I got any further in the book. Okay, friends, it's lunchtime. And if you didn't know, Indian food is like one of my favorite types of food in the world. And I was making my Kroger order the other day and I saw these. They are butter chicken non-panadas. So they're like empanadas, but butter chicken. I have no idea if they're gonna be good or not, but I'm about to make some of these for lunch just to see. Funnily enough, I also made tikka masala the other night, so that might be dinner. It just might be a very Indian cuisine inspired day, but I'm really curious about these and I really hope they're good. I also thought I would show you my water addiction, because here's the thing, I don't like plain water, and I know that's probably bad for me, but I want my water to taste like something. And so these guys right here are how I get through water. They do have aspartame, so if you're someone that is trying to avoid that, there you go. For me, I really like it. Okay, Don't judge me, but we have the Skittle flavor packets. Now, there are many flavor packets out there in the world. There are Starburst ones, there are Jolly Rancher ones. All of the other ones have a weird taste to me. The Skittle ones do not. They have regular Skittle. They have tropical Skittle. They have wild berry Skittle. But let me show you what my water packet drawer looks like, okay? Okay, here it is. Look at that. Wow, that's a lot of flavor. I think right now I want to go with a green apple because it's kind of like sour, and a strawberry. So we're gonna make some water to have with lunch. Don't run away from me. We are gonna do a really quick taste test. They might still be too hot. They just came out of the air fryer. I figured that might be the best way to cook them. I'm not sure, but we're gonna give it a try. I also poured a little bit of my tikka masala sauce into the bowl in case I wanted like a little saucy moment. We'll see. I mean, don't we all want a saucy moment? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so good. If you have the Bombay butter chicken non-panadas at your store in the frozen section, wow. I will say they were a little costly for the amount that you get, but like for a treat, if you're an Indian food lover, these are good. And like such a creative way to package it. Wow. A+ for me. I just finished this book, 496 pages, first book for the readathon down. I'm obsessed with it. It had such a bittersweet ending, but then it had such a good ending, and I can't talk about it. I don't want to spoil anything. It's also the second book in the series, so I'm gonna say next to nothing about it. But if you like Rebecca Ross's writing because you read Divine Rivals, but you want slightly elevated writing, her adult writing is just superior to so many other things I've picked up. So 5 stars. We're starting out May. Great. I'm going to go log this, submit it, add a book to our game because podcasters, we are on a roll, and I cannot wait for my sprints tonight on my channel. I'm going to pick up another book. I'll show you what it is soon. I also just worked on my reading journal a little bit while I finished listening to this, but it has been a great day. Okay, it was time to pick another book before I jumped onto sprints today. And again, we're lucky in that any book that we read is going to count for a game for the podcasters right now. So I just kind of went with what I was feeling in the moment, and I picked one that I'm a little bit scared of. Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. My air conditioner just turned on. Hopefully it's not too loud. So I'm scared of this one because I adore Emily Henry, but this one has been getting such mixed reviews, even though it sounds like on paper it's right up my alley. We've got 2 writers who are interviewing an heiress, basically think Taylor Swift's Last Great American Dynasty song, and they're interviewing her for the opportunity to write a tell-all piece or a book or something like that on her, and in the middle of all of it, they fall in love. At least that's kind of the premise that I have been promised. But again, I'm just not hearing the best things about it. But I will say, my ranking of Emily Henry books tends to be completely opposite of most people's rankings. People We Meet on Vacation, one of my favorites of all time. Book Lovers is pretty close to the bottom, and Funny Story is currently my least favorite Emily Henry book. And when that one came out last year, people were all over it. So I don't know how this one is going to land. I do think I'm gonna see how physical reading goes tonight, and if I need to, I might invest in the audiobook. I have a couple credits on Audible still. I have not Apple Music, I have Amazon Music, which gets you a free audiobook. And I have Everand, not that I'm going to find this on Everand, but that's the plan. This is what we're going to start on sprints tonight. I am going to try and catch up on some booktube videos in the next half hour before sprints start, and we'll see who all joins us. I'm sure it will be chaos. I'm sure it will be fun, but I really hope that I fall in love with this book. Fingers crossed. Good morning. I am having a very lazy Sunday morning. I did not sleep well last night, and so I ended up going back to bed for quite a bit, even though I intended to wake up and film early this morning, but I have been awake. We are talking strategy so hard over in our Discord channel right now, and it is just, I have the best team. But I did want to get on here because I read a little bit I almost called this Happy Place because the cover's pink, but Great Big Beautiful Life. I don't really have enough to update you on right now. We're getting our bearings. We're being introduced to the setting and all of the primary characters, but not enough relationship building has happened for me to really care about anything yet. But I am only about 54 pages in. But last night I was working on my little crochet project and I did start listening to We Used to Live Here. And oh my gosh, I think I only have an hour and a half left of the audiobook. So I have been just listening to that so intensely, but it is scaring me, and it is a subtle scary. It's like it quietly builds on itself. So if you don't know what that book is about, it is about this couple. It's two women, Charlie and Eve, and they have recently bought this house. And one night Eve is home alone with her dog, and this family knocks on the door, and the dad of the family is like, "Hey, we used to live here. Do you mind if we look around?" And she feels really uncomfortable about it, and she wishes that her partner were there to kind of be the firm force being like, "No, you guys need to get out." But she is a little bit of a pushover, so she lets them in, and they end up overstaying their welcome by quite a bit because the daughter goes down into the basement and hides. And so this family is stuck there, and it ends up that they just don't leave. They keep finding a reason to stay. The weather is bad. They've lost something, and little things just keep building on each other. Like, that is the setup of the story, but so much else has happened at this point. And I've never read a horror that is so quiet in what it's doing, but that makes me feel so unsettled each time a new element is introduced. So I'm really having a good time. I did have to turn it off. I was listening to this in the shower last night, and it was past midnight, and I was like, I don't think I can listen to this comfortably late at night anymore. So I am about to go make lunch and listen to a little bit more of this before I sit down to do my filming and editing for the day, but I'm having a really good time with it. It's kind of overpowering, this book, which is fine, but you know, I'm having a good time. Sometimes I just really do enjoy horror. Sometimes it's too much for me, but this is like the perfect balance, and I feel like the end is going to be so unhinged. I swear I have moved from my bed today, but it is May the 4th, and I did want to share before I wrapped it up for the day that I am wearing a Star Wars shirt. So, and I finished We Used to Live Here. I don't know what to think. I'll update more better eloquent thoughts on that later, but I did finish it. So podcasters, I did submit that for our game situation that we are currently stuck in, and God willing, it's gonna save somebody's life, because if you know, you know. It's late, so we've got the ring light going. It's also storming outside. I just got off of Jesse's reading sprints, and what a night it has been. I thought this was gonna be a cozy little reading night of Emily Henry. I did read a few chapters, but let me tell you what it turned into instead. It turned into a night of horror. Both like reading horror and experiencing horror. I decided I was going to take a break from that and do some happy color on my iPad. And so I listened to Joe Hill's The Pram. In case you're questioning it, the Kindle book has 57 pages. It does say 46 on Goodreads, I think. But I mean, I could get this out and I could show you 57 pages. So I did count it. And then we were talking about bugs at one point on sprints, and Lexi was like, I have the perfect book for you guys. It's called Toothworms. And this book is not like easily accessible. You can't get it on Kindle or anything, but I did track down a copy. And I read this book, and Lexi told me that despite it being 9 pages, if I braved it, if I toughed it out, I could count it as a prompt for my team. So podcasters, please let me tell you how much I love you, because I can never eat spaghetti again. To add to the experience, here's a clip of me reading the entire 8 pages. Enjoy the facial expressions that I make. Anyway, podcasters are doing great, y'all. Podcasters are doing great. And all of a sudden we find ourselves reading for the theater, and we're now playing a game again. We are in the middle of a game. This one's a little bit more stressful than previous games. I don't want to go into details of why it is stressful, but it is stressful. But fortunately, I think most of the books I have to read do fit for some prompts, but some are easier to read for than others. So, I mean, I can't speak for the other teams. I don't really know how we're doing in comparison to them. I can't wait to watch the other host vlogs to figure out some information, get the inside scoop so me and the podcasters can start strategizing. But I just think that me and Mel really are leading our team to victory here. So the pool, the theater, there's so much more to do, but we have done a lot already. I'm gonna go to bed and try not to dream about worms and spaghetti, but I hope you guys have a much better night than I'm having. I finished it. I finished Emily Henry's Great Big Beautiful Life, and I realize I've done next to no updates on this book because I've just been listening to it as I go, and I haven't commented much on it. So this is the book that we're going to end the vlog with, and I do just want to gush about it for a second because I am in the select few who really liked this book. We're following Alice and we're following Hayden. Alice is just kind of a pop culture journalist, and Hayden is a music journalist, and they are competing for the chance to write a tell-all book about Margaret Ives, who is this socialite who disappeared off the face of the world and is now slowly starting to come back into the light and wants to do so by telling her story. And so these two sign an NDA that they're not going to talk about Margaret Ives to anybody else and also to each other, and they go in for weekly interviews with her and learn about her family history and then more importantly about her, and they learn things about themselves in the process while also falling in love. And while they're falling in love, they're not able to talk to each other about Margaret Ives, which is arguably one of the most important things going on in both of their lives at the time. We discussed family relationships, we discussed regret and guilt and the pain of loss so heavily here, and I could keep gushing about it, but I'm not going to. If you're gonna love this book, you're gonna know pretty quickly whether or not you're going to love it, and vice versa. It worked really well for me. So if you're wondering my order of Emily Henry rankings, because I feel like everyone who reads a new Emily Henry book must tell you the order of their favorites. So for me, it's number 1, People We Meet on Vacation. Number 2, Happy Place. Number 3, Beach Read. Number 4, Great Big Beautiful Life. Number 5, Book Lovers. And number 6, Funny Story. And that's just me. No hate on you if your order is completely opposite of mine, but those are the ones that work for me. And then this one is just such a different standout type of book. It's not like anything else she's written, but it's also not like anything else I've read. And that includes things like Evelyn Hugo. So I see the similarities, I see the comps, but this is its own thing. This is its own thing. And also, just the tension between the two of them. Romance was not the most important thing here, but when we got romantic scenes, the spice was just exactly what it needed to be here. And I ate the tension up. There were certain things keeping them from doing certain things with each other throughout the book, and I ate that up too. You go, Emily Henry. I will always be your fan. So let's wrap up the week, shall we? Podcasters, we took a swim in the pool. We saved Mel from being chained to the bottom of the pool. Then we went to the theater. We got through the theater pretty quickly, and now we are still stuck in the theater game. So I know other teams, you are sneaking up in here to figure out what's going on with us. So that's pretty much all you're gonna get. We're just sitting in here eating popcorn with the ghosties, and we're having a good time, right? They're friendly and we're hanging out with them. I don't think they're mean. And then as far as what I read this week, just as a quick wrap up, I read A Fire Endless. I read We Used to Live Here. I read The Pram. I read Toothworms. I still can't believe I read that. And I read Great Big Beautiful Life. Guys, 5 books, even though some of them were short stories for me in a week, is a big deal. I am very proud of myself. I also started Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I am in the mood to finish that eventually, but I'm not in the mood to finish it now. So we're putting that on the back burner for the moment. My cat is trying to knock the tripod over, so y'all say hi to Sherlock. He wants to be involved. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, leave me a little ghosty emoji saying that you were here and that you are supporting the podcasters of Getting Out of the Theater with the Ghosties. And if you are interested in supporting my channel in any other ways, I will have my Patreon as well as all of my other social media down below so we can be friends in other places on the internet. And I will see you guys in another video very soon. Bye guys!